on YouTube, just did a live on TikTok about this upcoming breaking news that is coming out on Mr. and Mrs. E's Crimecast podcast. I hope everybody is doing well this beautiful Wednesday. Happy hump day. Happy hump day. It's nice to see you. I had a beautiful and very uplifting birthday. And I worked some, but mostly opened gifts and took some time out for my poopy, my beautiful poopy. It's nice to see you, Vita. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Pale Rider Michelle. Graham, it's nice to see you. Did you guys hear? The attorney for Dog the Bounty Hunter is going to be on Mr. and Mrs. E's Crimecast. Mr. and Mrs. E's Crimecast. Where is it? There it is. There's the advertisement right there. If it's backwards for you, I'm going to read it to you. It says special time tomorrow, Wednesday, September 18th, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, which is 9:30 our time. They're an hour behind us. Join us for a live chat with Dog the Bounty Hunter's attorney, Joseph Lesniak. We will be discussing At Night Media, LLC, Nick the Hass, cease and desist, and a lot more. Hope you can join us. I'm going to be on Mr. and Mrs. E's Crimecast this morning, and one of the reasons why I decided to go live this morning, because I want everybody to watch this, because I think it's going to be important. I just learned last night that one of the content creators on TikTok did receive this I don't know what it was in the letter, because apparently she had it all in front of her but just wouldn't read it and was very elusive as to what was contained inside the letter and inside the proposed injunction. It sounds like what they did, I don't know this for a fact, but it sounds like what they did is they sent out a cease and desist letter and must have attached, the way I'm understanding it described, must have attached this injunction to it, this proposed injunction, basically saying, we want you to stop these activities. If you do not cease and desist from these activities, we will be going to federal court, and this is what we will be filing to the federal courts to injunct you, to provide an injunction to prevent you from doing these types of activities. Again, very elusive. It just seemed really funny because clearly she had it in front of her, but she wouldn't read it. And that's a problem for me. Like, why aren't you either showing it or reading it? And to me, it sounds like, because let's face it, I'm pretty sure this person is guilty of some of the things that were cited, if not all the things that were cited in that cease and desist letter and that federal injunction, and didn't want people to know how serious it was. That's just my opinion. I don't know if that's the case, because let's face it, if we get documentation like that and we're going to go on panel and discuss it, we're going to read it verbatim. It was not read aloud. It was not read on air. It was just, it could be this, it could be, everybody was giving opinions. Oh, and I love this. A lady that lives in a different country that has no earthly idea about United States law, American law, is chiming in on what is legal and not legal. Like, we don't live in your country. You don't have a clue, Cupcake. Just saying, you don't have a clue. Stay in your own country and follow your own country's laws. And I can guarantee your country's laws are much different than our country's laws. But again, special time tomorrow, Wednesday, September 18th at 8:30 a.m., which is today. We want to be there. We definitely want to support Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast. And this is a huge interview. Okay, this would be a huge interview for this channel. This is definitely a huge interview for their channel. And they've always been very good. They've always tried to keep to the facts. They've really had Sebastian. Not only that, they have an emotional attachment to this case, because their child is also, they've dealt with a lot of the same trials and tribulations, because their child is autistic, but their child was determined to be nonverbal a nonverbal autistic boy that they worked with. They wouldn't listen to the doctor saying he would never talk again. They believed he would, and they worked and worked and worked and fought for their son, and their son can talk. He went from nonverbal to being verbal. So they've went through a lot, like I said, a lot of trials and tribulations, just like every other parent out there that has to adjust, to their child. Their children have special needs, and that changes. You got to understand how that changes a family's life when you have a special needs child, So you got to look at that. They change their entire life out of the love that they have for their son. And so this hits a little closer to home for them, and why they've went out of their way to make sure they keep their channel very fact focused, and to very good commentary. I love how they do it. They're the nicest people in the world. I've got to tell you, in this case, I have met some of the greatest people, just truly here, not for the moment, not for the spotlight, but truly here for answers in this case. And I have to say, Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast are two people that are absolutely trying to keep this boy's name out there in a positive light, and always, always, always trying to do the right thing by Sebastian Rogers and his family. And so that is always commendable. I love, love, love hearing people do that. Miss Lee, mom of 3, it's nice to see you. I hope one of my mods are in here. I'd love to drop your link to ST. I never said that right, but I always thought it was ST. Maybe I don't know. Somebody's going to have to give me grammar or hooked on phonics. I'm telling you, it's awful. It's awful. Denise, it's nice to see you. Michelle, Holly, Don, Dee's Mystery. It's Laura, Casey, Amanda, it's nice to see you. Icy Bama, nice to see you, my love. Cheyenne, Princess, Jasmina, it's nice to see you. Graham, I think I already said hi to you. Donna, Clarissa, it's nice to see you. I was just folding some shirts you sent me. I hope you're doing well this morning. It's nice to see you. True Crime Addict, Stacy, it's nice to see you as well. Brianne, it's nice to see you. Phil, it's nice to see you. Nola's mom up in the house. Sheena, Jennifer, the real me too. Yay! Up and at it. I swear we have, I think my mods, I think the whole team is the most insomniac team on the streets of the internet. The streets of YouTube. We are insomnia maniacs. Nani, it's nice to see you, my love. Good morning. Good morning. Well, what she gets for, yeah, I know. Exactly. Everybody knows what's going on. It's not like these people think that as long as they say this, then nobody sees their actions, right? Words are cheap. Words are cheap. Forever Nikki's mom, it's nice to see you. Luca, I haven't seen you in a while. It's nice to see you, my love. Michelle gifted 1 Bullhorn Betty membership. Pale Rider, yay! Yay. Natalie, it's nice to see you. I hope everybody's doing wonderful this hump day. I'm skipping over a bunch of people. Aunt E, it's nice to see you. Anybody else? Incensed Zombie, Australian viewer, please be advised. Must be adhered to. Australian internet protocols must be adhered to. I don't know what that means, but good morning. It's nice to see you. Honey Dip, we are almost there. I hope we get Main Mom, it's nice to see you. Sadie, good morning. It's nice to see you guys this morning. This case obviously has worn on me, we went through hell and back for this case. That's for sure. I mean, we've done a lot for these cases. This has been definitely an experience that I'll never forget. It'll definitely make me stronger, and it's definitely whatever they were trying to accomplish with this nonsense definitely did not work. I can guarantee that. Did not work. As a matter of fact, all it did is exactly what I said it would do. It would point a spotlight directly on this county that they did not want to have, but they chose to do it anyways. So, you know what? You make your bed, you gotta lie in it. That's all I'm going to say about that. This is going to be interesting. So what I heard last night is one content creator from TikTok actually received this cease and desist with the proposed federal injunction that would be filed if the action didn't cease. It seems like these hate channels are going to be held accountable for their poor behavior. You know, you can only point the finger at somebody for so long, which they've been pointing it at me for what, 3 years? And I've been trying to say what they're saying I'm doing, I'm not doing, but they are. And so after cutting off all from everybody, you know, I put myself in a box all by myself. So you can't say that Bullhorn Betty's doing this or Bullhorn Betty's doing that, or because I'm affiliated with this person or associated with this person or this, that. I cut everything off, right? I cut everything off after 2022. I've cut everybody out, and I only had a few people. Well, during this case, I cut everybody out. I didn't want to be associated with anything or anyone related to this case. I even Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast, loved them to death, but did not go out there. You know, I support their channel 100%. I support them 100%, but I haven't been on their platform. I haven't been on their channel. I haven't, you know, had a 15 minutes of fame, so to speak. You know, I'm not panel hopping, channel hopping, whatever. You know, I'm not doing all that. And so I put myself in left field. Just so people can actually see, oh, thank you. We are Cody's voice. It's nice to see you. God bless you. Mr. E account is real. This is Miss E. He wanted his own account. Oh. Gotcha. So thank you for that, Mrs. E. Thank you. God bless you guys. So I'm excited. I'm excited for your interview. I really super am. I'm waiting to hear. So we learned from one of these content creators that they received the cease and desist letter, and I can't remember. I should have taken notes about what was stated, but it sounded like they said that she was inciting her audience. She was inciting her audience to make threats. Or herself. That she was causing delays and costing dog time and money because of the stuff, the bunk information, bunk leads, hindering an investigation. I don't remember everything, but I know we'll get, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy, thank you for talking about it. We need some extra mods. You are always more than welcome to use my mods. They are literally the best. You guys see, we run a skeleton crew here because I don't trust very many people. My mods I trust. All right. So I don't really add any more mods than the ones I've got, but they are very seasoned. So if they're willing to help you out, you're more than welcome to use my mods anytime that they want to be helpful. They know that I don't tell them where they can go or who they can help or anything like that. Like we've even had one of my mods, on a channel I didn't agree with. But you know what? They never brought the stuff to me. So, I mean, I don't care, they know that. So if you need more mods and my mods are willing to help, put them to work. They're very good. They're very good. One of the things I will tell you to potentially control your chat is, your moderation, like your, comment. Like I've got this on 20 minutes, but you saw when things were getting crazy, I put this on 5 days just to stop all the trolls. So I always use those controls when I have to, but I always find that if you want to keep it down, like if you guys do like an hour or two, I love the 20-minute one because I mean, literally one person can get an insult in like maybe 4 times. And sometimes I'll push it to members only. Like if you're gonna insult me, you're paying to insult me. I'm sorry. That's just how I roll. But anything that we can do to help you, absolutely, hands down, help you. So, anyways, I did wanna Just come here because I'm very interested in what this is all about, because it was so, like, I think you guys were so smart on bringing him on, because I was trying to make heads or tails of what was really going on, you know? And I just couldn't with what this person was saying was going on. She was very, it didn't seem like she was very forthcoming with what was really in those letters and in that, because she clearly had it in front of her. She was reading verbatim certain sections. Why didn't you just read the whole darn thing so everybody knew what was written and said? You know, you had it in front of you. Just, if you didn't believe any of it was true, why not just read it verbatim? But we didn't get that. So I'm really, really super excited and super stoked to see what this attorney has to say. I'm telling you, this attorney is legit. He is, I've read about him. He is really, really good at what he does. And I know he was associated with some people I know previously. I'm just saying. And so I'm also interested in, because I hear that they're going to be going on. I love this channel chat. The True family here are amazing. Aw, thank you. Yeah, we try, you know, no matter how bad people try to trash my name, we do try to keep to the facts, and we do try to help these families. And in most cases, even with all the craziness and chaos, we're able to accomplish that. I'm very disappointed that people are applauding this crackpot PI. He's a public investigator. He's not a private investigator. Let's be honest. He may have a PI license, but they are required to do certain things ethically that he does not do. He does not follow his license ethically. And I'm going to say that just like that, because I've read the requirements of PI license in several states, including my state of Florida, and I know what they are and are not allowed to do. And he violates he does unethical and unscrupulous things, period. He is a problem in the Kylie Rodney case. He was caught lying on multiple occasions in the Kylie Rodney case. Even so much so that Adventures with Purpose called him out as a liar. And I'm sorry, Adventures with Purpose is a good conglomerate that has found many, many people and knows what they were doing, was able to find this girl in her car in Prosser Lake within 15 minutes. So they have the wherewithal to know what they're doing, while this Yahoo did not. They thought he was a joke. Okay? Professionals think this man's a joke. So then you rewind from Kylie Rodney case, or maybe it was a fast forward. I can't remember when Kylie Rodney case was in conjunction with Dylan Rounds. But he was able to smooth his way into Dylan Rounds' family, and they kind of got wind that this guy is a Yahoo, right? And so they fired him. And then what did he do? He's going to expose the mom. Expose the mom. What a great PI. How ethical and professional that guy is, right? But even when that's not enough, he gets into the Layla Santinello case. And he's doing this case pro bono for her father and his girlfriend. And then all of a sudden, oh, well, you know, if you really want me to get on the ground, you're going to have to, you know, pony up $2,000. Here, let me take you on a few channels so we can raise money. Interesting. And then he was begging for Jen to work with him. And then he's like, well, if Bullhorn Betty and Jen would just work with us. And I told him, he is beneath me. And I want to say that loud and clear, because he's got a syndrome of some sort. And I told him, he's beneath me. I don't work with internet PIs. I think they're trash. Told him just like that. Next thing you know, Bullhorn Betty's the worst person. She's a grifter, blah, 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 right? And oh, by the way, he's going to now start exposing Jen Santinello. Again, a bunch of lies that came out of his mouth that had no facts supporting it. And what a stretch he tried to make. What a stretch in several of his statements. So he's definitely a known liar. He has a track record and a proven record that we can actually follow from Kylie Rodney's case to Sebastian Rogers' case of infiltrating these cases, causing chaos, never having any information. And oh, by the way, he touts that he found 14 to 16 people in a matter of a year. So I did fact finding on that fact. And guess what? Not one article with his name in it. I mean, 14, 15 people. Good gracious. Right? His community would be writing articles about him with that kind of results. Nothing. Why? Because the man is a pathological liar. I don't care what kind of certificates he has. I don't care. All he does is when he does not get the job, he tries to seek and destroy. No different than this case here. Oh, but in this case, he works for the family, has been employed by the family. That was the last person to see this child. The last person to see this child. And now all of a sudden it's, oh, Seth's a pedo. Oh, Seth got somebody prego. Oh, Seth and this underage girl went and unalived their baby through a procedure. Oh, well, where, for you to find this, you would have had to do some research. And during your research, you would have had to find some information that led you to believe that. Where's that information? Show us your receipts for those very defaming allegations. Defaming allegations. Thank you. Mr. and Mrs. E's Crimecast, YouTube. It'll never let me put that up there. I can't pin. I guess it won't let me pin links. Good morning, Jonathan. Bobby, Sonia, it's nice to see you. Good to see you. 14, 15 people would have made the news. Exactly, Pete. Exactly. Nothing. This man is a pathological liar. He infiltrates these cases, and when he doesn't get the results he wants, he attacks people. That is his MO. And not only is it and I have receipts. Go back to Kylie Rodney's case. Go listen to Adventures with Purpose statement about this man. Go look at the Dylan Rounds case. Go. I'm sure Jen Santinello's still talking about this Yahoo. And now he's here in Sebastian Rogers' case, doing the same nonsense. He's not good. And the only people that think he's good are cockroach channels. Why? Because he'll say whatever they want him to say to make, clicks and views. That's it. I don't believe him. I can tell you, I asked Tony point blank about these allegations, and he said, whoa. He goes, early on, because he wanted everybody wanted the family to be a united front. Remember that? This was, oh, good gracious. Back in, when did Tony come around? I think back in March or April. I could be wrong. It might have been as late as May, but I think it was March or April. And one of his goals was to unite the family and to have this united front for this case. And he would kind of take over speaking on behalf of the entire family and not just Seth. However, the mom and stepdad would not do it. But before they did not accept the offer, Tony had an opportunity to speak with both of them. And it's my understanding that because the allegations of Seth messing with Katie at a younger age than what they state had already been brought up. So he questioned Katie about it. And it's my understanding that Katie told him that is not true. She met him shortly after she turned 18 and they got into a relationship. So that was coming directly from the mom of Sebastian Rogers to Tony. So if they have now changed that story, the question would be, why? Why would that story now be changed? Is it to throw a monkey wrench in it? Is it to make the eyes go off that side of the family and over to Seth that had nothing to do with his son? Isn't it funny how the goalpost keeps changing with these hate channels? Like at first it was all about finding Sebastian if they could get Seth's attention. But now that they don't have Seth's attention, it's like, pitchforks and people, Seth. But everything that they're bringing up and talking about has nothing to do with the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. None. It didn't affect Sebastian. It didn't, even if true, which they're not. I'm going to state on my platform, everything that's being stated about that is 100% false. And nobody, and I mean nobody, will have receipts to produce to support that he has messed with a 13-year-old or got a 15-year-old pregnant. There's not a scintilla of proof. None. That's why I say it's false, because we're going to be holding their feet to the fire with the use of you guys, right? Because when people make these accusations that are far-fetched, what do we expect? We expect receipts. Support your findings. This is a private investigator. He should have investigative reports to support his findings, right? He should have something. Where's the doctor bill? Where's the doctor that performed this? Who was it? Who was it? And if they say it's the mom, well, why did she tell Tony months ago these allegations weren't true? And then all of a sudden, when the news is getting tighter and tighter, all of a sudden now it happened. Seems a little fishy, like a lot of stuff in this thing. Thank you, Melly Cat. If you received your Bullhorn Betty gifted membership, don't forget to tell Melly Cat thank you. And it looks like Earth Angel got it. Yay! Yay, Earth Angel. You're officially part of this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club. It's nice to see you. Oh, Pebbles is up in the house. Pretty eyes, thick thighs. That brings me, hey, reading your name, the only song that just popped in my head was Rockin' All Night Long. So who lied? Seth's on the panel. She was pregnant 2 times before Sebastian would have made her. No, it wouldn't. How do you figure? How do you figure? You lay down with one person, you can be prego. You had missed that child in 2 weeks, you could get prego again. What are you that doesn't mean nothing. You seem like you, it sounds like pretty eye, thick thighs. Sounds like a female. So I guarantee you probably had children. I don't know about you, but it doesn't kind of work like that, okay? When you have a miscarriage, you're more fertile. I don't know if you know that. I know that for a fact. My doctor told me I had a miscarriage. Just saying. So I think you guys need to pull your heads out of your butts if you really want me to be honest with you, and quit listening to any horse crap that comes out of somebody's mouth just because you want to believe it. At the end of the day, it needs to be factual, not lies. This is a lie, okay? A big old fat lie from a PI that is working for the family that was last seen with this child before he disappeared. Get it, Cupcake? Just checking. I don't argue with idiots on my channel. I just want to let you know, because I refuse to look like an idiot. And if you want to look like an idiot, go ahead. Just keep believing all the horse crap that comes out of this PI's mouth. You will be sorely mistaken, and he will always disappoint you. Just because people don't like Seth doesn't mean they can think he's guilty. No, they don't even think he's guilty. They just want to smear him. They don't even think they've all acknowledged he has nothing to do with his son's disappearance. They've all acknowledged it, but it doesn't change the fact that they're working for the family that last saw this child. And so it's all about smearing and getting back and paying back. Big mean Seth. This man went to work. His son was about to come live with him full time. He was very excited. This family that last seen him, you can't shake the evil from them. I'm sorry, you just can't. The behaviors that they exhibited, how many times they're threatening to unalive people. They threatened to unalive Seth. They threatened to unalive the girl in Miss Bobby's car in the back seat. They threatened to unalive me. Remember, watch where you go. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have experience with Seth, and I have experience with this stepfather. And I can tell you, this stepfather scares the crap out of me, but he's not going to intimidate me. Now it's just the smear. Why? Because I'm pretty sure, has known his place and realized we can cover this case. I don't need his permission. He ain't my daddy, my husband, or anything else. You know what he is to me? Shit on the bottom of my shoe. That's it. Ladies for Justice plus getting married at young age was a thing back in the day. Yeah, and people don't even understand. Like, people were getting married and all this different era in our country. There was a different era in our country, accepting era in our country, but this doesn't even apply to Seth or Katie. Katie was over 18 when he met her. It doesn't matter how many times they got pregnant and she lost the kid, not unalived the kid. It was through miscarriages, and finally had Sebastian, which clearly had some, birth defects of sorts, and was a disabled child. So, that does not. You could literally have. I've known a lady. She has major pregnancy issues. She was able to carry 2 children through full term, but she had over 14 miscarriages. Okay. So don't tell me there can't be multiple miscarriages in a matter of 6 to 9 months. He was asked where his evidence came from, and he said a human being. Exactly. That's his evidence. That's what we bash people for and call them predators. Is because one guy says, oh, I have a human being that told me this. Well, I have a human being that told me you're a piece of shit. So I guess it must be true. Well, it is true. I would love to see, I bet you, as focused as SF investigates is on these young kids, I bet you he's got a young kid problem. Why can't I say, oh, well, I heard through the grapevine from a human being that SF got a 12-year-old knocked up and had to go and take her to the doctor and get her fixed up. Damn, SF. Are you a pedo? Just curious, asking for a few 100,000 friends over here. I bet you he is a pedo. Bet you anything that CC is a pedo. I bet you I could find somebody that will say that too. Can I borrow $100 from somebody? I'm gonna go get me an interview with a human being. Can somebody write me a script of what they need to say? But talking about other parents the same way is okay. The double standard is disgusting. It absolutely is disgusting. Nobody's beating up the stepfather for knocking women around, beating them up, having them unalive their kid when they didn't want to. What about him? Nothing from the peanut gallery out there, huh? Interesting. Because I am an abused woman. So the spousal abuse, the knocking a woman unconscious and leaving her in a VA hospital really gets in my craw, and that is evident by plenty of receipts. Plenty of receipts. That's something I have receipts on. Like I could produce today. And that's about the stepfather. Literally receipts of how much of a scumbag the stepfather is with all of the other 4 wives. Yes, I have these things called receipts. Why haven't I not produced them? Because they don't go directly to the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. I know the man's violent. I don't need to drag the 4 other wives through the mud to prove that this man is a violent man. Doesn't mean I don't possess the receipts, the physical receipts. But some well-known PI can't produce them? The little old Bullhorn Betty has receipts to produce. Oh, okay, well, it sounds like somebody's trying to hide something and lie about something. I'm just saying. Possibly, allegedly. But he's been coming out with those as statements of fact. It's time to hold his feet to the fire, and if he cannot produce the receipts for those allegations, he is a liar, and it's time to unsubscribe. Time to unsubscribe. Ladies for Justice. Oh, I love the name. Women are born with a certain amount of eggs. So it also depends upon the woman's body. Not what this case is about. And this case is not about people's eggs. It's not about people's sexual proclivities. It's not about anything. It's about a 15-year-old boy that disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee on February 26 under suspicious circumstances. He was locked inside of a home with only his mother. Okay? And those are the facts. It doesn't have something to do with a child custody case. It could. And that's why we are focusing on that child custody case, because that child custody case caused a lot of infighting inside that home. How do we know that? Because we have receipts. There is definitely some weird things going on in this case, and it seems like, and I say this and I'm going to continue to say this over and over again, everybody that's causing interference in this case, intentional, willful misinformation campaigns in this case, all link back to the mom and the stepfather. Why is the mom and the stepfather working with people that are constantly infiltrating this case online with misinformation? That's got to be the question we ask. That's got to be the only question we ask. So getting back to the topic of this conversation, I'm not going to bend your ear too much longer because we are getting up to, it's about 7 o'clock their time. They're going on an hour and a half. I want you guys to be prepared because I feel like this is going to be an amazing interview and a great conversation with the attorney sending out these cease and desist letters along with this federal injunction. And I bet you he's going to clarify greatly on what these are all about, what they actually say, because let's face it, the lady had it in front of her face but would not read it and was very elusive as to what these things said. She was trying to distance herself and play a victim card on these panels. And at the end of the day, you can't sit here and stir up all this drama, all this chaos, infiltrate this case, have people calling in, brigading law enforcement, brigading parole boards and parole offices, and then expect not to be held accountable for your destructive and malicious behavior, and then play the victim. And that is what is going on. We're going to hear a lot of people playing and crying victim. I was arrested, and you don't hear me complaining and crying victim. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to prove my freaking case and tell everybody to kiss my white breaded ass. If you want to know the truth. Right? Because this is going to be done. This is going to tell the hate channels that my job is legitimate and I don't break the effing law. Leave law enforcement alone. Quit wasting law enforcement's time. Quit brigading law enforcement in DA's office when there's a missing child. Quit distracting from a child. Quit taking necessary resources away from children and missing people. This is going to be my stand on these hate channels, to just stop. You're a joke, you felons. Go back to the Slurpee. Oh, forgot. You guys got fired from the Slurpee machine. Sorry about that. Quit breaking the law. I don't know what to say. I quit breaking the law a long time ago. I don't know what to say. You know, just stop. Just stop. It's all going to come full circle. I told you guys to keep laughing. Keep laughing. Okay, so Wakey says, Betty, to be fair, you didn't even know Seth Rogers before this, and you don't actually know him, do you? So whatever your agenda is with your newfound friend, I would like to say it on here. What are you talking about? I'm looking for his freaking kid, you dumbass. I have to be buddy with families now to advocate for their child? My newfound friend? Do you think we're in a freaking sandbox playing patty cake? What is wrong with you? You guys got some real messed up. Please, go to the doctor. Get a pill. I know that's what all you crazy people do these days, right? You have to go to the doctor and get a pill. Quit being so cray-cray. You're acting like you're an unhinged person that has no common sense. Okay? At least people that are on my channel that suffer from mental illness, they go and take care of themselves. They go to the doctor, they take their prescription as prescribed, they do the therapies as requested, they try to live a normal and adjust themselves in life. There's a lot of people out here that have unchecked mental illness. This is becoming the major call for the people. It's no more the gun violence, right? It's mental health awareness. Why? Because there's a lot of mentally challenged people in this country that have all kinds. I don't know where the mental illness is coming from. Let's all talk about it. You know, it's a touchy subject. I'm game. But let's talk about it. We have a lot of unhinged people in this country, and I can guarantee they try to say, "Oh, she's so crazy." Well, you know what? I can guarantee I'm very sound mind and body. And here's why. Because I have been put through the ringers, and I'm still standing, and I'm not in a padded room. I guarantee half the people out there that talk smack about me, if they had to deal with half the crap that I had to deal with, would probably have had a meltdown and probably wanted to unalive themselves. So I don't want to hear that I have mental illness when clearly you're the one with the problem. And it's so unhinged that you would literally be over here watching me when you clearly don't like me, and you continue to watch me over and over and over again. Normal people don't do that, okay? Normal people, when they don't like something, they change the channel. That's what normal people do. So if you're not doing that, you need to ask yourself why. You might be having some mental health issues that are unchecked. Maybe you need to go to the doctor, speak to a counselor. But one thing you don't do is come over here and be snarky or imply something that's good and make it into something that's bad. You don't get to do that. Not on the back of this child. Shame on you. Shame on you and all the people just like you. You make me sick. You're the problem here on YouTube, not me. Not my people here. You are. So please start doing better. Please start doing better. I guess if Bullhorn Betty, I'm not a felon. I'm a misdemeanor. I didn't quite graduate to that level yet, nor am I going to. Okay, we'll leave that to the animals. We'll leave that to the hyenas, right? I can still get a job at the Slurpee counter. I just want to make sure that's, and I can still vote, and I can still possess a gun once these charges are dropped on the 10th. Nana Banana. Good morning. When I was a kid, our mental health was my mom telling us to put our big girl. Exactly. I try telling people all the time. A lot of the problems is the rejection. People can't handle rejection. It's like, they get fired. They're wanting to take a gun and shoot up their job. These people have problems. And you know what? If you look back, it's not private education that did this to our kids. It's not. I have a disdain for our public education system in many of these states in our country. I have a major disdain for pushing good teachers out while they infiltrated our schools with social justice warriors. I have huge problems with it. You guys know that. So it's, at the end of the day, people need to wisen up. It's called common sense. It's called common sense. We're looking for a 15-year-old boy. And quite frankly, I feel very, very, very bad for his dad, his biological dad. I think his mom and his stepfather are something straight out of The Shining. They think that they can pull their weight around. They think they can threaten people with their lives. And then, oh, by the way, I feel so terrified by a 5'1" girl that drove by my house and videotaped, but never talked to me, never said anything to me, never screamed anything to me, never made contact with me, but I'm so scared. But I don't mind telling everybody that pisses me off, I'm going to unalive them. Right? It's horseshit. Excuse my language. On a Wednesday. Let us get right. I didn't even read it today. Maybe that's why I'm cussing. Let's get right. Let's correct the day. Let's correct the day. Let's get inspired before we leave. Let's get inspired before we leave. Rise to the occasion. September 18th. You should have seen me when I was younger. I was something else then. Just wait until I'm older and bigger. Then I'll show you what I can do. If all we do is remember the strength of our past, then we're denying ourselves the wisdom and ability that we carry with us in the present. And we deny the lessons that age teaches us about slowing down, being still, and letting things be the way they are. If we're waiting for the future to be happy, we're robbing ourselves of the vitality and the joy of our lives right now. Stop reminiscing about the past and anticipating the joys of the future. That's that time when you become all-powerful, that time when you become all-powerful and bigger and better than you are now. You're as good as you need to be today. Let yourself be who you are. Then enjoy being exactly that. Rise to the occasion of today. God help me be the best me I can be today. There you go. Let's see what's in our other one. This is a new one. I've never read this full through yet. Let's see what we got. Might as well get right. Maybe it'll help my cussing because I'm spinning an arm and a leg on the cuss jar. The cuss jar is back in effect, guys. The cuss jar is back in effect. Just FYI. I'm going to have a tug and pull on this. We've been working on this. Sonia's been working on me for years. It's better than it once was. We don't hear the F word as often. Just saying. Seek to please me above all else. Let the goal be your focal point as you go through this day. Such a mindset will protect you from scattering your energy to the winds. The free will I bestow upon you comes with awesome responsibilities. Each day presents you with a choice after choice. Many of these decisions you ignore and thus make by default. Without a focal point to guide you, you can easily lose your way. That's why it's important to stay in communication with me, living in thankful awareness of my presence. You inhabit a fallen, disjoined world where things are constantly unraveling around the edges. Only a vibrant relationship with me can keep you from coming unraveled too. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Matthew 6:33. The one who sent me is with me. He has not left me alone, for I always do what pleases him. John 8:29. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for men, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. Colossians 3:23-24. So there you go, our spiritual awakening for September 18th as we roll into Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast interview with Dog, the bounty hunter's attorney. I'm interested. I'm going to be there. I want you all to be there. So get over, sub up to Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast, and let's hear a great interview. I will see you all soon, and I'll see you on Mr. and Mrs. E's Crimecast right after this. Talk to you soon. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, please be kind to one another. And demand receipts for substantial allegations, okay? Especially when you're calling a deputy sheriff a pedo. Shame on all of them. It's disgusting, and it's not supported by one scintilla of fact. Just smears.